Grimlock, no like you.
And that is why you never ask Grimlock for an autograph while he's having lunch. Oh, hello, my name is a Fu Manchu. Why don't you tell me when they're here, man? You could, like, wave your arms or something. Anyway, stop waving your arms. I know they're here now. Hi, guys, what's up? You know what? Speaking of Grimlock, I recently reviewed a Transformers masterpiece figure of Trax, and he's so cool, man. Yeah, now that figure was really hard to transform, especially for me, because I'm an idiot, and this guy over here didn't help me. Stop waving your arms! Anyways, yeah, I really do like the Trax figure, because currently he's standing in robot form with all my other Transformers masterpiece figures, and he looks awesome, man. Now, one of the reasons why I like him so much is because I don't think there's a Transformers masterpiece figure out there that I don't like. And, you know, one of the reasons I like them so much is because they get so many of the G1 details so right in all of the figures. That's why when some little detail doesn't get done right, it stands out. Now, when the Masterpiece Grimlock came out, oh man, I could not picture a better Grimlock than this. I mean, this figure has all of the details of the original G1 toy and all of the details of the G1 cartoon rolled into one. I mean, look at all that chrome. Look at that clear neck. Everything here looks so amazing. Look at all the little rivets and stuff. It looks so good. Plus, they got some of the details you wouldn't even really think of, like the fact that his eyes can change color in both Dinosaur and in robot mode, so that he can have blue eyes for the way he looked in the cartoon and red eyes from the way he looked in the G1 toy. And that is so cool. That is above and beyond the Call of Duty. But there's one thing wrong with this figure, and I never would have thought it was his size, because look at how big he is, man. He's so just big and chunky, and it's so awesome, man. But yep, that's where they dropped the ball. Because whereas this Grimlock looks really big when you get him out of the box, as soon as you stand him next to your Optimus Prime, you realize really quickly that he's shorter than Optimus Prime. Now, anyone who's seen the G1 cartoon knows that Grimlock's head would really be up there somewhere, and that's pretty sad. Now, standing them on the shelf like this, they really do not look that bad. I mean, I guess if you're a stickler for details or whatever, yeah, it kind of stands out to you. But seriously, this toy is so amazing that you can overlook it. It's just that if they'd have got that size, just a little bit bigger, man, this would be the perfect figure. Now, that Masterpiece Grimlock figure has been released and re-released at least 4 times. I don't know, maybe even more than that, man, by Takara and Hasbro and stuff like that. And you know what? It doesn't look like we're going to get a bigger one from them, and it's kind of sad. But you know what? Maybe they will release a bigger one in the future. It's just I haven't heard anything about it, and I don't think anybody else has either. But it's a good thing there are KO companies out there, because today's review will be on the following! Today's review will be on the Transformers Masterpiece MP 2.0 Dinobot Commander Reximus Prime. Wait, who? This is Grimlock. Why is it called Reximus Prime? Yep, that's right. This is a Masterpiece Grimlock KO, and they have renamed him Reximus Prime. And for good reason, too. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't call him Godzilla Prime, because once you see what this thing can do, holy cow, man. But yep, this is Reximus Prime, and it's not even the first release of Reximus Prime, because the first release looked a little different. Now, thanks to my good buddy Chachi over at Chachi Power or Rocket Punch Army or whatever else he's calling himself, this is what the original Reximus Prime looks like, and check it out. Now, if that color scheme looks vaguely familiar to you, well then you must have read the original 1980 Marvel Comics Transformers series. Because back then, they colored all the robots with bright colors, and you know what? That looks so cool to me. And you know what? Those colors work so well on a Masterpiece Grimlock. Or, in this case, a Reximus Prime. That is awesome. Now, when I first found out that original version of Reximus Prime existed, man, oh man, did I want it. But you know what? I'm glad I waited, because I just recently found out that this version existed. Now, this version is actually colored in his G1 toy color scheme, and I think that's even better. That is totally cool, man. Now, this box is freaking huge, man. This thing is so big and heavy. I'm not kidding you. This thing is big and heavy, and it looks so cool. Plus, it doesn't even look like a KO box at all. It's got the Transformers logo, the Masterpiece name right down there. It's got the Autobot symbol there on Grimlock's chest, and even in the robot form chest. And man, oh man, this thing looks legit. I mean, really, really legit. And it's not like they're even trying to, like, you know, cover up the fact that it's a KO. Because not only do they have the Autobot symbol there, the Transformers logo up there perfectly, but on the back of the box, they even show a few more things. Now, not only do they show product shots of the Grimlock Masterpiece figure standing there with his sword, they show off features like the fact that his eyes can change from red to blue, but they also show off little scenes from the cartoon, which I've never seen before on a KO box. I mean, the fact that they actually use pictures from the cartoon is amazing. It's like they're saying, no, man, this is a real Masterpiece Transformer. Just ignore the fact that it's called Reximus Prime. And if that's not enough, look at this. They actually put a picture from one of the comic books. That is so cool, man, that Grimlock sitting in the throne with his crown and flame sword looking very awesome indeed. Yeah, this is so cool. Now, if you're asking yourself, hey, why did you get this? You already have a Masterpiece Grimlock. And in fact, you have a Masterpiece Grimlock in this color scheme. Well, you're right there. Well, there's one reason in particular that I got this one. And that reason would be, well, you see that little Grimlock right there? That's the one that I showed you at the beginning of this video. This one is what's in this box. Holy cow! Do you see why he should be called Godzilla Prime? That is amazing. And yep, this is an oversized Masterpiece Grimlock. Now, as you can see, my box is really, really beat up. I don't know what happened. This thing's been through a war coming from Cybertron or something. I don't know what happened. But yeah, it was all beat up, and I was so afraid that this thing would be broken and stuff. I already peeked inside to see what it looked like. I've had this thing for like 3 or 4 days. It's been driving me nuts to open it, and I've been dying to transform him and leave him in dinosaur mode because that's how I want him on my shelf. Just like that. He's like that in the box. But you know what? It's driving me crazy, man. So let's look at the front of the package one more time so I can open it. So, here's the front of the box for the very last time, and believe me, I've been having a lot of trouble making this review, so I hope it's good. I am just dying to get inside this box, so I say we waste no more time. You know what's funny, too, is I'm dying to play with it, and I honestly already have the toy. I mean, yeah, it's bigger, but it's the same toy, so you wouldn't think that that would be a big deal. But big deal is a good way to, describe this thing, because this is a big deal. So I say we open it! So, here's Reximus Prime slid out of the box and still in his tray, and man oh man, is this thing so big that I have the camera literally at chin level standing straight up, looking down at this thing. This thing is huge, and I'm tall, man. So, man, just to fit it in the frickin' frame here, just to show it off, I have to hold the camera up to my chin. But, yep, as you can see, the tray that he's on actually has a little cover on top of it. So let's remove the cover so we can get a better look at him, shall we? So, here's the Reximus Prime figure with the top tray removed. And like I said, this thing is so big it's not even funny. There's his gun, as you can see there. Working our way up, you'll see his crown, which looks amazing. The Grimlock / Reximus Prime figure himself. Holy cow. And his flame sword that is not currently turned on, but it shouldn't be turned on inside the box anyways, because that would be a fire hazard. This looks amazing, man, so I say we stand him up. What do you say? So, here's Reximus Prime fresh out of the package and stood straight up. Now, this thing is mistransformed inside of the box to make it lay flat inside that tray. But yeah, you need to, make his wings fold back. But you know what, and you don't see his Autobot symbol there because his chest isn't transformed 100% correctly. But that's okay, because I'm going to be putting him in dinosaur mode soon. Now, he's not 100% perfect, but here's Reximus Prime, a.k.a. Grimlockzilla, standing straight up and posed a little bit, and he looks amazing. Like I said, I'm not going to keep him in robot mode for very long, so I wasn't trying very hard. Like the Autobot symbol there is supposed to be popped up a little bit higher, but man, I'm not worried about it. I just want to get it as fast as possible because I can't wait to transform him. As you can see, his wings are folded back a little bit better, and he looks so cool. His arms alone, which transform into his dinosaur legs, are so big and beefy. I mean, these things are heavy. This is one heavy transformer. This is so cool, and I mean, it almost feels too big. This thing is so amazing. Now you're probably saying, hey, what did it come with? Well, it came with his sword, his crown, his gun, and an instruction sheet and a card. As you can see, they're looking very awesome indeed. Now, I will not be transforming this guy on camera because I don't need to do a review of his transformation because I've already reviewed the Masterpiece Grimlock, and this one's no different. It's just bigger. So this video doesn't need to be that long anyways because it's just to show off his sheer size alone. But while we're at it, I guess I might as well show off one or two things. Like the fact that he has a really awesome light-up sword. Check that out. And it looks even better in the dark. Even better in the real dark. Now, if you swap out his sword for his gun, the barrels of his gun are supposed to light up too. Now, it's not very bright with the gun, but if you turn off enough lights, you will see that it does light up a little bit. Right there, as you can see. More down the back of his hand, but that's probably because it's not plugged on entirely all the way. Still pretty cool. I mean, seriously, just the fact that this is a KO and it lights up and does all the same things that the original Masterpiece Grimlock does is amazing, man. This thing is so cool, and like I said, he is so big and heavy. You will get your money's worth for this guy. Just whatever you do, treat him like the king, because that's what he is, baby, the king. Now, the details on this figure are amazing, and the fact that that silver paint there on his body really brings out every rivet, line, and fold in the metal, well, I say metal, but it's plastic, you know, that's supposed to be on his body, and that is so cool indeed. I mean, all the details inside the back part of the wings there, so awesome indeed. This thing is incredible, man. And, you know, like I said, it keeps all the original features that the original Masterpiece Grimlock has, because as you can see, he has blue eyes. Or wait, are they red? Maybe they're red, I don't know. No, they're blue. I was right. Anyways, yeah, as you can see, it's got all the same features, and that is awesome. It's got all the little clear plastic there on the blue, the red, and the green on his feet. So awesome indeed. I mean, this thing is incredible. Now, looking at the details on his back, you will see the Autobot symbol there that's going to be on his chest in halves on his back, and that's pretty cool indeed. The dinosaur head plus his silver hands and everything. This is incredible. So yeah, this figure is beyond awesome. And like I said, that silver paint really makes the difference. This is too cool. And you know what's funny is, like I said, if you hold this thing in your hands, man, you will see just how good this figure is. This is one really cool KO that beats an original Masterpiece Transformer any day. So I say we waste no more time, and I say we transform him! After what seemed like forever, here he is in dinosaur mode. Check this out. Now, oh my god, have you ever transformed a life-size Transformer? Well, I have, and here he is. This thing is so big, man. Just moving it around, you feel like this thing is just too big, too heavy, every time you move it, it just feels like, oh my god, this is a life-size Transformer, man. This thing is amazing. Now, I thought, hey, I know, I'll look up a video of somebody transforming it. But you know what everybody does on stupid old YouTube? They transform this guy from dinosaur to robot. Nobody does it from robot to dinosaur. I don't understand why. I don't think he came in dinosaur form. I know mine didn't when I got it. It was always in robot form. So I don't know why they start with dinosaur. You think you'd end with dinosaur, but apparently not. So thanks, guys. You didn't help. And then I thought, well, I don't need the instruction booklet. Heck, I've got that other MP, Grimlock. Sure, I've transformed him. It can't be that hard. His tail's hard, man. Jeez. And then trying to put everything together when it's such a big thing and it's all heavy and dangling down and stuff, because this metal piece here on his chest, this gold piece, is so heavy it flops down a lot. And oh, man, this thing is heavy duty. But you know what? Here's the finished product, and I will say this. I will not be transforming him back into a robot anytime soon. I don't want to. This is how I want him, in a dinosaur mode, and this is awesome. Seriously, well worth the money. I mean, look at the paint on this guy. Jeez, you can't see in this video how heavy he is. You can't see in this video how big he is just by looking at him like this. I mean, even if I show him with something else, you'll be like, man, that's big, but he feels 3 times bigger in your real hands, man. This thing is awesome. Now, while we're talking about size, I think it's time we show him off with the original Grimlock Masterpiece figure, and check this out. This thing is huge. I mean, this one over here ain't no small figure by itself. I mean, it looks smaller than it should, sure, compared to other Transformers, but honestly, this is not a small figure. This is a pretty big figure. This one over here, I'm telling you, this is a life-size Grimlock. I mean, this thing is freaking huge. And look at the difference that the paint makes. I mean, this one over here is cast in like this gray plastic, and they didn't paint it. I mean, yeah, the red part and the dark gray right there is painted, but the plastic itself is just plastic. You can see the swirls and stuff in it, you know, from the way it was molded and junk like that. So yeah, there's no real paint on there whatsoever for 90% of his body. But over here, holy cow, he's silver and he looks amazing. Now, should Grimlock be this light of silver? I don't know, but I don't care because this looks amazing. I think this is totally, totally cool, man. Check it out. And the paint just brings out every little detail. It's incredible. But what's more incredible is just the sheer size alone. This is amazing. And if you remember Optimus Prime standing next to this dinosaur at the beginning, well, what you are seeing is no illusion. It is no trick. This is the same Optimus Prime standing next to the real masterpiece Grimlock. This is awesome. Look at that scale. I mean, if that's not pretty much the way they looked in the cartoon, then I don't know what it is. That is so cool indeed. And yeah, the scale changed quite a bit in the cartoon or even in the movie, you know, quite a bit. But hey, if anything, Grimlock needs to be bigger than Optimus Prime. And this looks amazing. Now, if you look over here, I opened his mouth, and he's got the little gun inside of his mouth there. He's got the silver teeth. They're really, really sharp. Speaking of sharp, those claws on his fingers, oh my God, you can cut yourself on those points. I mean, they are super, super tight to move, and moving them is a pain, but those points are super, super sharp. His teeth look very, very sharp. That is awesome. I mean, everything about this figure is top notch, and I am so happy to have it. And man, just look at how awesome he looks next to Optimus Prime. Imagine him with the rest of the gang. That is awesome, man. Now, looking inside of his head, you'll see that he has the red eyes and the blue eyes, and that is so cool. But I'm going to leave them blue because I've always preferred the the cartoon version of Grimlock as opposed to the toy version. Now, I love the toy, don't get me wrong. But if I'm going to have a Grimlock, I want him to have blue eyes. Because if that's not G1 cartoon Grimlock there, then I don't know who it is. This is amazing. Now, every little detail has been kept from the masterpiece Grimlock into this mold. And even this little thing back here where you could put the old Diaclone figures in, well, you'll need a bigger Diaclone guy, but hey, look, it's got his little seat and everything. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean, I can't believe that they kept all these features. This is incredible. This figure, well worth the money. Now, this thing cost about the same as any other masterpiece Grimlock, which is amazing in itself. This thing is just so awesome. Now, honestly, are there any negatives about this figure? Yeah, at least 2 that I can think of. 1, that button on the back part of his leg there. It's on the very, very back that lights up his little hand thing where his gun and his sword can light up. You can bump that really easy and it'll stay on if you're not careful. So you have to, you know, kind of open up his leg to look at his hand to make sure it's not on. So be very careful when you bump that button on the back part of his leg. Now, 2, the only other negative thing is actually a positive thing, too. He is so big that he is kind of hard to transform. I mean, this thing is freaking huge, man. I'm not kidding you. This thing is big. I mean, look at this. He's almost as big as I am, and I'm as big as a Barbie doll. Jeez, man, you're huge. Whew, you need to brush your teeth, though. Whew, smelling like Dinobot breath. But yeah, the fact that it's too big is not a negative. Yes, it can be when you're transforming him because honestly, it's very heavy and cumbersome. And yeah, you'll touch it and leave fingerprints all over it, so you have to be very careful about that. But man, this thing is awesome. I guess the only other real negative that I can think of is, man, I wish the other Dinobots existed so I could get them like this. I mean, yeah, they make the third-party ones and stuff, and essentially this is a third-party Transformer in a way. I mean, a KO is a third-party, I would assume, but yeah, they make some of them in the third-party ones, if not all of them. But, you know, I'm really hoping that they'll make some Masterpiece ones soon. The actual, you know, Takara or Hasbro, can't talk, Masterpiece, you know, Dinobots. That would be awesome, especially to go with this one. And if it takes a KO company to oversize them, hey, at least now we know they can do it. And do it right. So, there's my review of the MP 2.0 Reximus Prime, otherwise known as Masterpiece Grimlock. This thing makes Masterpiece Grimlock not look like Masterpiece Grimlock. Let me just say that. I mean, look at it. This one is an awesome figure, do not get me wrong. I absolutely love it. But this one over here, holy cow, we're talking a different species of Dinobot. This thing is amazing. And honestly, don't let just the fact that it's a KO, you know, make you not get this, because if you've got to have the original license, you know, Transformers, have Masterpiece figures and stuff like that. Honestly, no you don't. This thing is so cool, and it is so sturdy and so awesome, and man oh man, it is so... I highly recommend it. There's nothing more to say, man. Just look at it. It's this, or this, this, or this. And honestly, I think that says it all. So, until next time, whew, this video was hard to make, man. It took me forever, and you are hard to transform. Jeez, it's probably going to eat me in my sleep now. Tune in for more Foo Reviews!
Tell Grimlock about Petro Rabbits again.